Welcome to Growth with Portia, a weekly conversation for your personal and professional growth. Here is your host, Portia Booker.
Hey listeners, welcome to Groove Portia. I'm your host, Portia Booker, and yes, this is my real name. So, question for you, did you bring your curious mind today? If so, I don't want to keep you waiting. Let's dive in. So, anybody else familiar with the saying where your attention goes, energy flows? Anybody else hear that before? I remember when this phrase finally settled in for me. One of the things I learned was to shift my mindset and to really prioritize what I keep my focus on. So, question for my listeners today: does your attention stay in a space of elevation or stagnation? Let that sink in. So, today I am joined by a resilient individual who's been enrolled in the School of Adversity for an extended period of time. Now, she's walked across the stage and is inspiring others to pursue their passion regardless of any circumstance in their life. So, welcome. This person is locally known as Lady Wonder, but to me, she is Miss Kayla Carry On. How you doing today, Kayla?
Doing wonderful. Thank you so much. How are you this morning?
You know me acting up 24/7, 365. So, Kayla, I always love to start off my conversations with gratitude. What are you grateful for today?
Opportunities. I'm grateful for my friends and definitely forever my family and my kids.
Hey, short, simple, and sweet, right? I definitely can relate to the opportunities, right? Because for an extended period of time, like I mentioned, those opportunities seem too far out of not only just your reach, but even for me. And so, Kayla, I've watched your journey for the last 10 years from this space of scarcity to now an arena of abundance, attraction, and happiness. And so, Kayla, for you, what limiting belief did you have about yourself which kept you in that space of scarcity longer than you think you needed to be in?
Honestly, I felt super shy. I felt as if I was never good enough. And to be honest, afraid of taking the leap from something that is so normal. I was used to schedule. I had to be on schedule. I had to work this time to this time to make it work. So it was just the fear of not knowing what's to come.
Kayla, you're literally speaking my life. I mean, considering that I pursued a career in front of the camera, but yet internally, that depicted that I wasn't good enough internally. And, eventually, obviously, that led to my whole full mental breakdown and pivoting. And that breakdown led to my breakthrough. And so, Kayla, for our listeners who are tuning in, when you took that leap of faith, on those initial rough days, what kept you going? What was maybe that motivation? Was it a specific person? What was that drive for you to continue going, even when you landed back in the School of Adversity?
It would have to be forever my children. I kept telling myself, if I wouldn't want my children to be treated a certain way, why do I allow myself to be treated this way? So it was through them that I got the courage, the power to, you know what? Let me just try this. What's the worst that can happen?
Right. And Kayla, I want to touch on that really quick. I mean, a lot of people who want to embark on whether it's an entrepreneurship endeavor or pursue their writing career or skincare, whatever it may be, a lot of them are in that space of having children. And so, how did you find that balance, Kayla, of being a mom, but also continuing to work and invest in yourself and your true passion and calling in life?
I think I am blessed because skincare and self-care come hand in hand. So being able to make it a job has been the best thing ever. It was actually my daughter who put me on TikTok. She kept saying, just mom, try it. There's not a lot of people who do skincare. Just try it. So one day I randomly posted a video and the next day it went viral and she won't let me live that down. She knows it was because of her that this happened. And to be honest, I wouldn't have taken that leap of faith if I wasn't let go from my job because of COVID. So it was a lot of factors put in at the right amount of time that was like, you know what, you have to do this now. It's not even if you want to. It's like you should try this.
And I love, Kayla, that you looked at that moment of, oh my goodness, woe is me. How are the bills going to get paid? How are my kids going to eat? How am I going to go from point A to point B? If you got a car note, a house note.
Trust me, you know the feelings. Like it was just inside of me, like the hundreds of thoughts going and going. What am I gonna do? What if this is not gonna happen? And my daughter was like, you know what, mom, just keep trying, just keep trying. And I just kept posting videos, and it just kept going and going and going.
And Kayla, I love the fact that you listened to your daughter. And I mean, I know your kids are under the age of 10. And
Yeah.
so for you to really give your daughter that opportunity to teach you, right? I mean, a lot of times, right? I don't have any kids. I have a fur baby, if that counts, four-legged creatures.
It does count.
We're in that space of adulthood where it's like, you listen to me. I'm kind of the one who's the guide, but how awesome is it that your daughter really gave you that platform to just take the leap?
She is. I could get emotional, but they are. They both give me so much motivation.
And Kayla, for you as a parent, I mean, what do you think that also is instilling in them? Because in the society that we live in, there's this, like you said, traditional paved path of, okay, you send your kids to XYZ schools, they graduate from high school, then they either go to college or trade school, and then they land this, quote unquote, good, high paying salary job. They get the white picket fence house, all these fairy tale things.
I'm glad you said fairy tales, because my mind was so set on, no, you have to work this time to this time, you have to do this is the only way you're going to get ahead of life. So for me to be able to, you know what, stop, follow my dream because of my daughter, I think it's also going to teach them, you know what, the sky's the limit. You can do whatever you want as long as you put your effort in and you truly believe in yourself. And that's the biggest key. You have to believe in yourself to be able to, or in order to do something.
Oh, I agree 100%. If everybody else is cheering for you, but if you're not, how do you think it's going to manifest? And Kayla, for you, the fact that now you're in this space of abundance, you're able to not only give your clients and all the people, whether they're virtually or in person who you work with, you're able to give them 100% you. How does that also replicate into your family life? You're able to spend more time with your kids, and you're able to be there for, like special moments of their first basketball game or, any other things like that.
Getting let go of my job was the best thing that ever happened to me, because my daughter's actually 11. So I have a 7 and 11-year-old. I feel like those are the lucky numbers. I have been able to do so much in these past 2 years with them, that from their entire life. Just the fact that I can go to parent teacher conference, I can go on field trips with them, I can take them to dances, get them ready. There was a point in my life that I had to drop them off 2 hours before work. So that was like 5 in the morning, and not see them till almost 6 o'clock at night. Getting let go of my job was the best thing that ever happened to me.
And so, Kayla, I got to ask this really quick for our listeners who are tuning in. If they want to connect with you and learn more about you, is there a website or social media handle you can share with us today?
So TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter is all Lady Wonder 31.
Excellent. Excellent. Kayla, obviously we are now in the shift of weather and climate. Of course, we're in the quote unquote snowmageddon state known as Ohio. And so, Kayla, for our listeners who are tuning in, what do we need to prepare our skin for? I mean, like, I think I still screw this up as an adult. So can you walk us through some basic things on maintaining moisturized skin and that whole thing, maybe exfoliating once a week if we're putting on a bunch of, makeup things and that? Give us a couple tips for winter preparation for our skin.
Absolutely. Obviously, we don't want to over exfoliate our skin because we are dry in the wintertime as it is. My daily skincare is all you always want to wash, exfoliate, tone, and moisturize. But when you come to exfoliation, you only want to do it 2 to 3 times a week. However, you should do the other steps almost every day.
Hey, that works. Short, sweet, and simple.
Absolutely. Skincare does seem scary, and intimidating. There's so many good products over the counter that you guys can find. You can see it on my TikTok. But again, wash, exfoliate, tone, and moisturize.
It's okay. I gotta ask this.
Yeah.
Is there ever a day that you get up and you're like, oh, I don't feel like doing this today?
Yeah, there is. However, my lovely daughter is so in routine with skincare that she kind of is like, Mom, did you wash your face? So she's on me as my kid to wear sunscreen and whatnot.
So wait, you are your own boss, but then you also have a boss.
I have many bosses, and I adore those kids so much. But it gets to the point that like, if we're at the store, hey, my mom does skincare. Did you wear your sunscreen? Like I rubbed off on them way too much.
So wait a minute. So do you foresee potentially, both of your kids kind of following in that same path of what you did by taking that leap and really pursuing your passion? Do you foresee them also doing that as well?
Yes, for themselves. Definitely not related to skincare. They do take care of their skin very well. However, my daughter I believe she wants to work with animals. And my son has this dream of being a dancer, whether it be gymnastics, breakdancing, and I'm not going to stop either of them.
And I love that, Kayla. Talk a little bit about that, because I know when me and you obviously grew up, our parents kind of some of us had this ideology that you're going to pursue this career and there's no ifs, ands, or buts. You can't go back on it because I went to this school, I pursued this. We have to keep that legacy alive. And Kayla, talk a little bit about that, how, your parenting style of really giving your kids that flexibility to really embody themselves.
Oh, absolutely. So I believe our parents were taught the same way. Hey, no, you have to go to high school, you have to go to college, you have to get a good job, you have to pay the bills, you have to put food on the table. I am in a point in my life that I've gone through so much, I want to say a journey, spiritual, physical, mental change, that you can do all that, but living your dream at the same time. And I want to make sure my kids can do what they know. They can do whatever they want. However, they have to put the work in it. And no matter what you do, I tell them every day, just be respectful to yourself and others. But I'm not going to stop their dreams. Whatever they want to do, I'm going to make sure I find a way that they can at least put their foot in the door.
And I love that, Kayla, because I think a lot of times, we sometimes, and I don't have any kids, but I've seen this happen where some parents vicariously live through their kids because they obviously didn't get their Pulitzer Prize at a certain age.
And I'm not going to lie, I was never that parent at first. I may have put her in gymnastics because that's what I wanted to do when I was younger. I may have done this to him because that's what I want to do when I was younger.
Yes. And Kayla, I love that. I absolutely love that. The fact that, you're so open with your kids, you're giving them the opportunity to explore, right? Having that curiosity of a kid and continuing that throughout their, whole life. And Kayla, what did it take for you to readopt that curiosity spirit like a child? Because I know when we reach a certain age, I know for me, it kind of got shortchanged for a minute, especially, after I had to pivot the first time from when my television career took a nosedive. So what did it take for you to rekindle that curiosity of a child mentality?
It honestly was, I want to say, getting let go of my job. It was one of those things, you know what? Why am I not happy? Why am I not doing the things that I want to do? So ever since that, I started doing what I wanted to do, going to yoga class or I don't know, to a spin class, when others told me, oh, you know what, that's funny. It's not funny. It's what I want to do. So after that, I not only in, I want to say, physical activities for the kids, even in the kitchen, if they want to explore with the meal, if they want to put peanut butter and mayonnaise together, I let them put peanut butter and mayonnaise together. They are only going to learn if they're able to do it themselves. I can't teach them everything. I can teach them what I know, but I can't teach my kids everything. So again, not only in physical or in the kitchen or at the playground, sometimes you have to parent from a distance. That was, no, don't climb on that, please. I'm afraid of heights. And I was instilling that in my children. It got to the point that I had to step back, keep my mouth shut, and just parent from a distance. Let them learn, but also be there, but keeping my mouth shut at the same time.
Well, yeah, learning to not infringe, right? I
That
mean,
yes,
you were spot on about like, oh my God, I'm instilling my fear of heights on my kids. I want them to, be fearless lions and lionesses in this world. and, and I'm unintentionally injecting them with my fear of
and yes, exactly, pretty much. And not just fears, like, of course, you don't want to put your childhood traumas into your kids either. So just because you're afraid of something, that does not mean your child's afraid of something. Parent from a distance.
Oh,
Parent.
100%. 100%. And I love that, Kat. I love one that you're just so open. Two, that you continue to pursue your passion despite all of the odds that you've been through. I mean, COVID was a big pivot for a lot of people.
It was.
I mean, it was the year of entrepreneurs. I saw so many people posting their LLCs on Facebook. I'm like, oh my goodness, is this the rise of like the Titans going on? Like, what is
It was
going
hard.
on here?
But also, I think it opened their eyes. It opened my eyes for sure. And I think it opened a lot of eyes from other people. You don't have to work for someone to be happy. You can work for yourself, put the effort in, and just live your dream life.
Yeah, it takes some, like you said, effort and a little bit of work, but truthfully, the reward, the return seems to be greater. At least I can say that in my own life. I mean, because after my television career went completely downhill, Kayla, I was at that crossroad of, okay, what now? Like, I know that there's more to my
Yeah.
life than this. And then I just put it into the universe. I said, I want to create an educational podcast network to, help other people, because that was something that I was not able to do in the mainstream media.
I'm gonna
Everything, has a set structure, and, you can only abide by whatever is put on your plate.
absolutely. And I'm gonna share a little tip for the world. There was this one app that absolutely changed my life. I believe it's called Breathe. They have, this is not sponsored, by the way. They have hypnotherapy, meditation, tapping, stretching, dancing. It's a meditation and hypnotherapy manifestation changed my life.
Mm.
I tell you right now, it's not that I didn't believe it in the past. I didn't practice it enough. And ever since, the opportunities have been endless.
Kayla, you're literally speaking to the person who found that too. I found meditation, I found grounding, I found spending time in nature, I found all of those things. For me, it's meditation. I mean, that's
Mhm.
how I've been able to say to people, I've been prescription med free for 3 years, having bipolar disorder.
Amen.
I mean, so anything is possible when you find the right keys to the car that, us who are very spiritually rooted and grounded understand. And I think in the world today, we're so disconnected from ourselves, but connected so heavily to all the worldly things from social media, what's going on in Hollywood, whatever's going on in Ukraine still, all the latest trends we're so deeply connected to, but we're slowly becoming disconnected from ourselves.
Amen. I can't agree more. Like you're yes, 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 and yes.
And Kayla, I gotta ask this. I mean, you
Mhm.
touched on mental health. You touched on, how skincare and mental health go hand in hand for you. And I mean, Kayla, you wear so many badges of honor. I mean, you're a mom, influencer, you still do Zumba, you do all the great things. Of course, you're Lady Wonder, so you're the local Wonder Woman that we can go to for saving. So how do you, Kayla, find that balance, right, between obviously your passion for inspiring and helping other people and also maintaining your own mental well-being?
For me, I've always been a person that gets satisfied or truly happy helping others. So it's not a job for me. To an extent, it is a job, but this is the biggest reward that I can ever receive in my life. And my kids actually called me Wonder Woman. Mom, you're Wonder Woman at a very, very young age when they were like 3, 4, and 4, around 4, my daughter was like, Mom, you're just a Wonder Woman. So they actually named me Lady Wonder.
And that's so cute. I mean, and that embodies who you are. I mean, you literally, no pun intended, sprouted from these chains and became this wonderful inspiration to so many people, including me. I mean, I told you, I've followed your journey for the last 10 years from when you're, unhappy at your job, you're going through all these other common scenarios that we all go through, from whether it's relationships or situationships in today's world, I think, or, then dabbling into this arena that didn't work, putting your foot in here, then trying to maintain and balance the kids. I've watched your journey, and truly, Kayla, it has been amazing to see where you have gone and where you started. So I'm just super proud of you, because that kept me going too on the rough days. I mean, I know I'd send you messages like, oh my God, Kayla, keep going, because that was my lifeline. I tell people that our stories of overcoming is somebody else's blueprint to stop their goals, their dreams, their aspirations from making the cemetery richer. The cemetery is the richest place in the world, truthfully, because look at all the people that shorten their life because somebody told them, no, you can't pursue that.
Your messages have helped more than you would ever know too. You know me, I'm very quiet, and even on my social media, it's just my face. I don't talk very often. I actually have a hard time communicating with people. So 1, thank you for stepping me out of my comfort zone today. 2, those messages throughout the year have been more than you'll ever know. So don't make me emotional, but thank you.
Well, and that's what it's about, because I know for the longest time, Kayla, I was somebody who was that person who needed someone to say, Portia, keep going. Portia, you're doing amazing. But, over time, we learned that we have to believe that in our heart. We have to train our mind and get rid of that inner critic, because we're our own worst enemy sometimes. We have to train our inner critic to encourage us, to cheer us on when, not everybody, the rest of the world, is going to see our vision come from just a concept to fruition. And that's why I tell people all the time, the word vision has 2 eyes for a reason, because we do. It wasn't given to a community. It was given to one person. And just because it was given to one person, i.e. you, does not mean that it's not attainable. It does not mean that that vision can't come true. And you should pursue it no matter what. I literally just had this conversation with someone about 2 or 3 weeks ago about, you really have to pursue whatever it is. Everybody's not going to see what you see. And that's the beauty, right? We talk about in life that today is the present, right? You just never know who you're going to encounter that could be that door of opportunity for you to step into your true calling.
Absolutely. And you said today is the present, and don't live in the past. That was my biggest mistake. I lived in the past. So once you step into the future, I'm telling you, your life is going to be completely different.
Ooh, Kayla, you could say that again. I'm telling you, the past kept me a prisoner for a long time of all the things that I wish that I should have did, or the things that I thought should have worked out that didn't, but really it truthfully worked out in my favor, because here I am now where I am literally helping so many people by just either sitting on podcasts, listening to them live, or, obviously my audiobook is out to help people go through the grief process. So it's, to me, I am the definition of what success means in my soul.
Yes, you are. Yes, we are.
Yes, we are indeed. Oh my goodness, Kayla, I knew that this conversation was worth the wait. I mean, I think we've tried to get this together for the last year, it seems, and the fact that it's finally here, I knew it was worth it, because your story is definitely one of true test to testimony. And I'm so proud of you, all the great things that you're continuing to do, in not just the lives of your children, but also inspiring so many other people that, yes, what you dream of, what's in your heart, you can achieve it. Just got to put in a little bit of work, put in a little bit of effort, and believe in yourself. So I thank you so much, Kayla, for being that inspiration and just light for so many people, including me, for the last 10 years. So thank you so much.
Thank you for believing in me, and thank you for everything for the past 10 years. I can't thank you enough.
Kayla, I always love to save this question for last. I mean, you've left us with so many nuggets to literally take with us to start just today, if we wanted to, and even to apply this to our New Year's resolution. I don't do New Year's resolutions anymore. I do 12 weeks, but that's a whole nother day.
Love that.
Kayla, what words of inspiration can you leave with our listeners today? Whether it's someone who was once in your shoes, where COVID took them out of their comfort zone and now they're at the crossroads of what now, or if it's someone who is currently in your boat that wants to make a bigger impact and difference in their community and in the lives of the people around them. What words of inspiration can you leave with our listeners today?
There's so many things running through my head, but the main thing is just don't stop your dream. Keep following your dream. It is worth it. It's going to take work. It's going to take effort. But as long as you have the passion, the love, it's going to happen.
Yes, passion and love. You're so right, because that passion has to be there. Because if you're not passionate about it, you're going to be back at the crossroads of what the heck am I doing? And you got to love it. You got to love it to the point that you literally marry your craft. I mean, my mom used to say that when musicians really are passionate about their instrument, they literally marry it because they practice for 6 to 7 hours a day, and it shows. It truly shows. It truly does show. Oh my goodness. Well, everybody, that was your Lady Wonder, Miss Kayla Carry-On herself, that you heard from. And that concludes another episode of Grew with Portia on this Motivation Monday. Thanks for listening, and have a great and awesome week, everybody.